2, 1. You're live.
Welcome to the best sports betting show on the planet. This is WagerTalk Today. I'm your host, Andy Lang. It's a brand new week. We've got a loaded show to kick it off. Gianni The Greek is going to be here with the Steam Report. Krackman is going to drop us off an MLB prop, and we're also going to talk about the FanDuel, the big parlays, when FanDuel is saying now that they are limiting people that play the same plays. I have a lot of thoughts on this one, so we're going to talk about that. Bryan Power is going to break down the Giants and the Diamondbacks. We got big info. We got sharp plays. Let's get it started. All right, Dan, we go back to Friday. We had some really close guesses on the exact score. Did we have a winner on Friday's game for the exact score and the winner of the WagerTalk swag?
Close but no cigar, Andy.
It was so close. Cigar. Jason Hamilton had Seattle 6-5, and the final score was 7-6. That's a hell of a guess. Really.
All I know is whoever
close.
Finally wins this swag bag, it's going to be one hell of a prize because it just continues getting larger.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So we're going to pick a game on the board today. Real simple. You tell us the winner and the exact score in the comments below, and you're going to win some free wager tags. We're going to get one this week. Yeah, you guys are way too close to these scores to not hit one. So, all right, let's get started. You guys know what to do. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the WagerTalk YouTube channel, and let's get started with Gianni, and we're talking the Steam Report. Gianni, I'm guessing it's all Major League Baseball. There's no WNBA. We don't even have UFC this week. It's a slow week, so we got to pick our spots, and like we say, we only need a few plays that we can take advantage of to profit. So what are you seeing on this Monday so far?
Yeah, you simply got to be selective. There's nothing wrong with that. The less you have to choose from, the more selective you have to be. There's still going to be value on the board. The participants are the same. People that bet every day are still going to continue betting every day. With that said, I know a lot of sharp guys that I work with every day. This is when they take their vacations in July. This is the month everybody takes their vacations, mostly around. I remember for the longest time, I did it at the All-Star break. Every year, All-Star break was when I would go on my vacation. Now I work 365, so I really just don't do that. But, there was a time where even I took off. With that said, that's why you see it's a lot slower. But when that happens, it offers a lot of value even to more recreational bettors because you don't have every wise guy on the planet sitting in front of 5 screens trying to pick off every rogue number that's out there, every inefficiency that's out there. So if anything, I think there's opportunity. But again, you just got to be selective, man. That's it.
What are we seeing with money? You mentioned probably a lot of people on vacation. Maybe some of the big timers are taking off. Are we seeing any significant line movement? And if we're not seeing significant line movement, that gives us some real opportunity.
Today on Monday, it's been dogs. 4 dogs that are sticking out, all getting syndicate money. 954 Pittsburgh at plus 110, 956 Arizona plus 130, 958 Toronto plus 130, 965 Cincinnati plus 160. Those are 4 dogs that immediately took some money, and then there was some follow through as well. A couple totals got hit, but not any big line movement. Like, just picking off some of the 8.5s before it goes to 9, some of the 7.5s before it goes to 7, that kind of stuff that you see each and every day. But nothing that I would confirm as a legit move this early in the day. That's why I just wanted to stick to sides with what I share. Because again, it's a small board and it'll pick up as the week goes on. But it's just one of those days where it's a little bit slower. Not a bad thing coming off such a busy weekend with all the UFC stuff, all the baseball, the end of NBA finals, end of NHL finals. So it's a good July's a good month because you got baseball every day and then WNBA and some of those smaller markets where you could still do damage. And as you get ready and prepare for the football season, which I know everybody's excited about, and that's now just right around the corner.
Yeah, listen, for us, it's a huge morning. It's first day at Wimbledon. We have 17 plays in action today. So, oh yeah. We find that the first couple days of these majors are where it's at. You have so many matches to pick from. You have so many really big mismatches. And you'll see, we'll probably be fired away Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe Thursday. And then the closer you get to the finals, there's just no value. It's the best players against the best players. You've got injuries, you got fatigue. So yeah, we come out hot and heavy in the first few days of Wimbledon. So
Yeah, I saw a couple moves real quickly. It's hard to find the best when it's this early in the tournament. It's funny. The other day I got Arthur Casal against Adam Walton. It took me about 12 minutes to find that matchup because it didn't have a bet number on it. And it's like you got to remind these betting syndicates, dude, add rotation numbers. Don't just put the name out there when there's 200 matchups. It took me forever to find it. By the time I got down, I was able to get down at like minus 175 and minus 180. But yeah, I see a lot of the sharps. That's what they do, exactly what you're doing, where they take advantage of Wimbledon early in the tournament. And as the tournament progresses, you get less and less positions because, again, the line's tighten, which it's supposed to do.
You hit your 5% in UFC, correct? I see some people. Nice work. What was it?
Delgado. Jose Delgado.
Oh,
I love Delgado, bro. I put 85% of my UFC on the line bankroll on the show on him. I just thought there's just no better bet on the board, regardless of outcome. I felt confident. And the worst part is it was actually a worse bet than the week before on my 5% that lost. Honestly, if I'm grading it from a sharp bettor's perspective, it actually was a worse bet. It just won. Because the truth is, I didn't get any real closing line value. There was so much money coming in on the dog that I had to be the product more or less of good luck and pick the right side because I didn't get much line value at all. In fact, I bet it at a worse line at what it closed at. And that's not a good position to be in. That's not betting from any position of strength. So I'm glad it worked out for us, and I'm glad I cashed a big ticket. But the truth of the matter is, the week prior, where I had Jamal Hill as my 5% that lost, I thought going into that fight, that was a much better bet because I had him at even money, and he closed at minus 145, close to 150 at some shops. So for me, I'm like, I did my job a lot better on that bet than I did on this Saturday's UFC bet. But it tells you you're going to get graded by your results at the end of the day. We all say the right things. We all, everybody on sports betting, social media, on Twitter and Instagram, they all say the right things as far as value and bet sizing and all that. We all know what to say, but doing it's a completely different thing because you see it so much in this industry. Like people are like, they don't like big games and promoting big locks and all that. But you move a 4% play into a 5% play, and all of a sudden you're going to sell 20x the amount of packages because you moved a thing 1% bigger. Your bet's now 1% bigger, and that's going to make people think now you have a lock. And it's the same thing with closing line value. Like you could place a great bet, prove that it's a great bet, but if it loses, no one cares. They just want to cash a ticket at the end of the day. And if that's your approach, I'm telling you, you're going to get disappointed. You're going to continue losing money. If that's all you care about is the result in the short term, you're going to get buried because you're going to keep chasing that short-term gratification that we all do and that burns us all. You gotta learn to think long-term. You got to be able to grade yourself hard. And like I said, great. Delgado got the job done. He looked like the right side. He finished the fight for us in 30 seconds. He was never in danger of us losing that bet. But I didn't get any respect from the betting market at all. In fact, it was the opposite. It looked like a bad bet heading into it. So again, I like to keep it real. And when I have a great bet and I'm beating the market, I pat myself on the back. But when I place a bet and I'm not beating the market and I still happen to win, I gotta chalk that up as the gambling gods gave me a winner that time. Like they did me a solid.
Yeah.
Kind of like now for the bad beat, they made one up for me. Because again, that's how I grade my work. Because I know if I can do that, Andy, over and over and over again, there's nothing they could do. I'm going to win money. It's like card counting. As long as I don't bet size incorrectly and I make the right move every single time, there's nothing they could do. I'm going to take their money. And if you could keep beating the closing line value, there's nothing they can do. You're going to take their money as long as, again, you bet size correctly, which is key.
Well, I will tell you this. I love fights like that. First off, congratulations on Delgado. I'm coming right back and betting Hyder a mill in his next one. They're going to give him a step down in competition,
Yep.
and it's probably going to be someone he steamrolls through. I love some of these guys when they're like undefeated and they get a loss, or like they're on a win streak and they get a loss. UFC bumps them down and they come back more motivated than ever. I take a look at some of these guys that are going to get a step down in competition. So I don't know who's going to fight, but most likely I'll be betting on Hyder a mill. So
I see a comment from Cam Hire, bro. Great job. Congratulations, bro. You doubled your bank from $20 to $40, betting $2 a game. God bless you. Good job. Stay to $2 a game. Don't up that. Do not up that, bro, until you get that 40 to like $100. Then approach it differently. Stay at your $2, because now if you jump it up to like $4 because you doubled your bankroll, you now could lose all that profit with half the production. Meaning, like, you're now going to be betting double. So what it took you to double your bankroll, you could lose in 50% of a negative run, because you're now betting double what you did to get to that point of 100% return. So mathematically, I highly recommend you stick to that $2 range. Just keep firing $2. That way, if you get cold, you'll still be in action. If you have an edge, it'll materialize. Keep firing $2. Good job, bro. I love seeing that.
Sorry, yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more with that. So, Gianni, what do you have up for clients here on this Monday?
All right, nothing up yet. Like I said, I'm staying real selective. I got a couple baseball plays that I have leans on. Going to try to confirm them to put out a package, but no reason to rush. So far, so good. We're about 6 months in. We got 6 months to go. My goal is to be up when December 31st rolls around. I'm highly confident that will happen, coming off, a losing year like we had last year. And I'm just going to grind. If I find some big bets, that package will be up probably within the next 60 minutes. Otherwise, subscribers will get what's confirmed, and then we'll move on to Tuesday's action. Again, I have no problems passing if we don't find value, but if we do, it'll be there for sure.
Love it. Gianni The Greek, everyone. Let's get this week off to a good start. Gianni, let's have a great Monday, and we'll see you again tomorrow. I'm going to talk to Gianni a little bit later this week about what to do when you're having one of your worst months. And full disclosure, that is me. June, we're going to see what happens these next couple days, but June's going to end up being one of the worst months I've ever had since being at WagerTalk. So we'll talk about it. Once we get the final numbers, we'll talk about it, how we manage the bankroll, what you do, what's the mindset, how do you analyze what happens. So it's good that we do the show because we can talk about this. We talk about our winners and we'll talk about our losers. And when we talk about our worst moments, that's when we do all the learning and it sets us up for the future. So I'll be talking to Gianni once we get our final numbers in from June here. Let's bring in Krackman, and we're going to talk a little MLB prop. And I got a couple other topics to talk about. We'll talk about FanDuel, and we'll actually let's start there, Bill. There's this story about FanDuel and their terms and service about trying to limit groups that are betting the same things, and they're shutting down accounts with groups. I got to be honest, as somebody that's had FanDuel and DraftKings for like a decade, this isn't new to me. like I've had books limited where it's just like me and some guys I work with that live in the same city. If you put the same bet in within a few minutes of each other, we've gotten limited on some of these books. So this is not a surprise to me. I'm kind of surprised that people are just now realizing this. Were you aware of this?
Yeah. Good morning, Andy, first of all, and thanks for having me on. I kind of went after them a little bit. I usually kind of stay away from things until I know the full story. And it looks like exactly that should have been done in this situation. This was regarding these Telegram chats where these parlay guys, Dub Club, Telegram, they have like these different chats of people that are in there together. And let's be blunt, these aren't sharp syndicate groups. These are Joe Publics that are trying to have a good time, maybe some parlays, which I never recommend. And what happened here is one or two guys said, hey, they changed their terms and conditions and FanDuel. Meanwhile, to be blunt, they paid everybody. So they paid everybody. It may even be a bad rumor that started internally. They haven't acknowledged this, and even some of the guys at FanDuel said we don't know what they're even talking about. We paid everybody, and it is in our terms and conditions. But they realized that they make so much money from these type of groups of, this is a 7-leg parlay of home runs that have to be hit that day in that game. This is almost an impossibility. Yes, they lost some money, but the rumor on these accounts was 2.2 million. They probably lost a lot more than that, because you have all these people in there betting $11 parlay to win 100,000. That's easily gonna, just equal a couple dozen people, and you're over to 2.2 million. They probably actually lost even more than that. But I have not seen anything where someone said, hey, FanDuel sent me an email or a text or something saying you won't be paid on the next one. So before we jump on them, I'd have to see some more facts. And I did say something on VSiN about it. And my comment's pretty simple. And to be real blunt, it probably is something that's looked at, what I said, because, not just me, it's almost common sense. If it was done in a way where they said, hey, they're doing this, they should have spun it in a good way where they could actually have said, hey, you guys got us this time, or something like that. I'm looking for what my response was, but yeah, I actually did reply to it though, and I just don't know if this was exactly 100% true. So before I really go off on them a little bit, I just don't see these sports books. Here was my response. FanDuel execs should have spun this a fun way instead of causing any controversy. The untold millions they make from the types of Telegram and chat rooms are immense and overcome the small loss 100+ fold. It's another example of how people with college degrees that have no pulse of the gaming arena are making decisions. Well, I don't know if that happened. So until I see someone saying that or showing that, I just think that they probably took a big loss on this. And here's what happens. Those people that run those chat groups or those Telegram groups, Dub Club groups, of course they want to spin it that way. We're so sharp in our group that they're changing their terms and conditions. They don't want us, to sell themselves more. So it's an interesting thing that I found out in the last 48 hours, Andy. And I don't know if
I'll let you guys know out here. So the way that we protect ourselves here is, I work with guys that have, we all have DraftKings and FanDuel and all the, BetMGM and all the ones that are legalized, but we can't put in like the same prop bet. We can't put it in at the same time on the same book. So like if I'm playing something, pretty big on FanDuel, the other person can't play it on FanDuel. They have to play it on DraftKings. We've gotten limited when you put in the same bet really close to each other on the same book, especially if it's a little bit obscure. Like they're like, wait a minute, nobody's playing that assist plus rebounds prop, but we got hit 3 times in Indianapolis on this one. So like, myself working with a group, there's ways you put this in play. It sucks, but in props you can't beat the line value too bad. And you can't have multiple books playing the same thing. They sniff that out. Absolutely, they sniff it out all the time. They have for years.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Not you. I'm saying I don't agree with those policies of these places because it's real simple. It's real simple. If you guys are paying at I know how it works at the back of the house. You have one guy that handles all the NBA, one guy handles all of the NFL, one guy handles all. Well, they have one guy that handles all of the props. It's not our fault, the originators and handicappers, that we have a better line than you. Do your job, do your work, and get a better line, just like we get a better line. Do your job. It's not our fault. You put up a line, we bet into the line. You have one person or 2 people responsible for making sure you have an adequate or tight line. Let me be real blunt. What we do, we check beat reporters. We check up-to-the-minute things that are going on in socials. Why can't you guys do that? Why can't you guys pay someone more money to check that out and be ahead of the curve then? Why do you have to wait for me to go in there with a bunch of different people that I give my plays to, and all of a sudden now you're going to limit them because you weren't up to date like we were? I don't agree with that at all. I think they should hire people just like I hire people. My payroll is ridiculous. what I have every year. So
yeah,
I hire people to beat the books, and that's what we do. That's why we get eliminated or thrown out. Listen, I'll be real blunt. They can't stop me. They can't stop us. We're going to beard in anyway. And by the way, we're going to get a nice bonus when we beard in. And you're not going to know it's Bill Krackomberger coming in. You're going to know it's someone sharp, but down the line, after you give us multiple bets or, a month's worth of bets, I think it's stupid. I think these books should take our bets. And I'm not saying they don't. Listen, I have some pretty good rules. I go to the counter at DraftKings when I'm back east at FanDuel. I'm sorry, FanDuel Mohegan Sun. I go to the counter there, and DraftKings at Foxwoods. That's it, Foxwoods. So I go back a couple times a year, and I make that. They limited me though. I was betting many thousands on per bet. Couldn't carry enough money with me on the plane. Now I'm still betting. When I go a couple times a year, it's not unusual for me to bet a hefty six-figure. Twice a year during futures, I went over 100 a couple times, and they actually do take my bets. I'm a bettor. Not only am I a guy that's out in the industry talking about it, I bet a lot of my money on things, as people do know that know me, that have dealt with me. And we're going to lose 42, 43 out of 100 bets, but making 57, 58 bets win out of 100 is going to make me a hell of a lot of money, and it should make you guys too. It's all about bankroll management, not chasing losses. I don't even check until the end of the day. As a matter of fact, my assistant today told me that we were like on fire. All right, we're on fire. So great. I know in the end we're going to win. It's that simple. So being on fire like the last month or whatever, the last 3 weeks, I get it. I know we're going to win. I know what we do every year. I know why I've been thrown out of thousands and thousands of sports books. I played with so many local guys when I lived back east, on these PPH shops, just like Gianni was talking about before. Ace, sorry. We're going to win. We win. We bet. I'm real. So that's going to happen. It happens so many times that really the local guys, it's out of the market for me. But for you guys that are at home watching this, at least you guys can play with those local guys and, play for your, $100, $200, $300 a play. Where for me, it's just, I'm done doing that, Andy. I'm done meeting the guys on the corner and the candy store. I'm done doing that and being told that you're not getting paid and why you're not getting paid. You're betting with a team. You're betting with a group. You're betting with a different IP. You're using a bot. It's like, all I can do, I can just press a button and bet by hand, and they're going to accuse me of using a bot. It's just, there's so many things against you. And, you have all these guys that think they're bookmakers and, they're just not bookmakers. They think they're bookmakers. They think it's easy. They think, I can go to the poker game at the Bellagio, and you can go to any single, right now, the World Series of Poker here. There's many pretend bookmakers here taking bets, but if they lose, you're probably not going to get paid. There's a lot.
Right. Yeah. Well, Bill, let's talk a little bit of specific prop here in MLB. I know you've got it up on the free picks page. Talk to us about an MLB prop that you like today.
Yeah. So Chase Burns, total strikeouts over 5.5 minus $1.50, over 6.5 plus $1.20. I'm also seeing there. I have no problem with you taking that plus juice on an extra strikeout. The Reds brought up this rookie prospect up last week. He had a great first start against the Yankees, striking out 8 and 5 innings on 81 pitches. I think it was 81. I had the stats up here. Yeah, I think it was 81 pitches. Anyway, he should have a longer leash today against the Red Sox, who have the third highest strikeout rate in the league and have been even worse since they traded Devers. So this kid has some elite stuff. I expect him today against this Boston team to go over strikeouts. That's Chase Burns over 5.5 minus $1.50, or you can go over 6.5 plus $1.20. I'm seeing that out there too. So there you go.
Love it. Bill Krackomberger, thank you so much. Tell everyone what you have up for clients here at WagerTalk.
Yeah, it's funny. I look just like you guys. Like I have to go and look to see what like these guys are talking about. my assistant. He's okay, on fire, run 24-10. Okay, let me see these things. Since May 6th, 17-6-3. That is pretty good though, on 2% or higher. So we have plays up there. There's a daily play up there today, and I'm going to tell everyone this again. Preseason, 1 month away. Wait till football, guys. This is gonna. Even though I don't take no time off. I work year round, but even though we're having a good baseball season, football is something I really look forward to. And this year we're going to get into the sides market, which I've never done before. But one of my guys has proven to me over the last 3 seasons, and I've seen his back-tested method before that. We're not going to kill anybody, but however, we're going to have some nice volume. It looks good in your accounts to have football games too, especially on a Sunday. If you're betting props all week, you want to put some games in there on Sunday. Something that's going on Sunday. I very rarely bet on a Sunday on NFL sides. I'm usually betting them early in the week. So there it is. We'll
love it.
Looking forward to this, guys. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, Bill. Krackman, nobody does it better. Appreciate it every week. Hey, Bill. Actually, Bill. So next couple weeks, I'm going to ask you some questions about some local hotspots around Vegas, like some of your favorite restaurants, some of your favorite spots and stuff like that. I want to get some of your takes on.
Well, that's funny.
Next
4 nights, I have scheduled people coming to town, going to dinner. So,
this is perfect.
I'm only taking them to my joints, so yeah.
Okay, next week, let's do it. Mark it down.
All
next
right.
week, we're gonna get Krackman's favorite spots. Thank you so much, Bill. Now I'm stoked for next week. Come on, next week, kick in here soon enough. Jay Main had a question about making your own. How do you make your own lines if you're not a bookie? Okay, great question. There are a lot of ways to go about it. I'll start with some of the sides and the totals. I would say probably simulations right now are the most popular. You run 10,000 computer simulations, 1,000 computer simulations, and you take a look at what the simulation is and what's the outcome. And if your numbers do not match what the books are, then you probably have a bet on your hand. A lot of guys still do power rankings. They'll rate everything from coach, quarterback, offensive line, defensive line, special teams. They'll put those into their power ratings. They'll come up with their own numbers and then compare it to what lines the books come out with. If you got a line that doesn't match, then you trust your own power rankings as opposed to the books, then you've got a bet there. Those are 2 ways that are really popular when you're doing lines and you're doing totals. For myself, I specialize in props. I tend to look and see what the books are putting out, and then I compare if the player's been hot or cold. I know what I'm looking for in a prop number before because I'm following a player, and what I'm looking for is the book to be really consistent with the number. So I'll give you an example. We did really, really good on a couple players to go over 1.5 made 3-pointers. I knew what these players, what their volume was, what their shooting percentage was. What I'm looking for is the book to just keep giving us the exact same number. So I'm looking at certain aspects of a player prop, then I'm just hoping the book is consistent with it. So there's different ways that you can make lines, but it really is dependent on what you're trying to bet. Are you trying to bet a side? Are you trying to bet a total? Are you trying to bet a prop? But yeah, those are the ways that you can make your own lines, and then when the lines come out, now you've got a really good comparison. So, that's how you do it. So, all right, guys, we're going to bring in Bryan Power just a bit. Let's do a couple free plays here on all around the world here. We've got just a couple today. It's a light day. I will tell you this first one. I really like this one, the Rays and the Athletics. I like the Rays under 2.5 on their team total the first 5 innings. Lopez has been lights out, 4 straight starts allowing 1 or 0 runs, and he's going past this 5 inning. 8 starts this season allowing 1 or fewer runs this season, and I like he's got the element of surprise. These Tampa hitters haven't seen him. So I really like this team total under 2.5. And honestly, going forward, looking at Lopez's opponents under their team total first 5. He's getting 5 innings. He's been really good. This play would have hit in, I think, 70% of his games this season. So that's a team total to look at. And then I see the Red Sox popping up a lot on the free picks page, money line and run line. This is all about Crochet being dominant. Last start, 7 innings shutout, 10 Ks, allowed 2 runs total the last 3 starts. So I see free plays on the Red Sox, the money line and the run line. So, all right, let's bring in Bryan Power, good friend Bryan Power here. Bryan, how are you? How was your weekend, sir?
Doing okay. The weekend could have been better, especially Sunday. Obviously we were on last Monday. We talked about how well we were doing. It was a bit of a disappointing last 7 days overall, just because of Sunday. We're off our first 0-2 day in quite some time. Looking to kind of gather ourselves and get back on a winning run. We are still up over 60 units going back to the last week of May. So very happy with how things have been going over long-term. June's obviously been great, but we just did have kind of one hiccup there yesterday, and looking to bounce back this week as I've been breaking some stuff down. Already found some stuff. I think I know what $5 Tuesday is going to be tomorrow, but I know that we've got an important NL West matchup that we want to talk about here on the show today that I'm excited to talk about.
I had a hiccup, a little hiccup. It was the entire month of June. little hiccup there, Bryan. But hey, listen, I appreciate you sharing that because we talk about our wins, we talk about our losses.
We do, yeah.
We can do that here. So
I was on top of the world. I don't want to bring up why I was on top of the world last Monday again. I know that personally affected you and your Indiana pay. It was a good end of the NBA Finals for me. But things were going well, and then yesterday, I don't know. Sometimes I was doing everything I've been doing all week, and the Cubs. Who would have thought they'd get shut out? The Cubs, highest scoring team on the road. They hold the Stros to 2 runs. I would have taken that. They lose 2-0, and then in the FIFA Club World Cup, Fluminense scored twice. And Bayern, of course, puts 4 on the board. So there you go. Or Flamengo, me. I got my Brazilian teams going.
Well, let's talk about the Giants and the Diamondbacks. How do you break this game down? We got San Francisco minus 135, Arizona plus 115. Over under is 8. You're looking at a side or a total here?
I'm looking at the side, Andy, and that's interesting because initially when I saw this matchup, I didn't think I would be interested in the side. These are 2 teams that are pretty ice cold right now. Diamondbacks just got swept here at home by the Marlins over the weekend. Meanwhile, the Giants have lost 5 of their last 6 games and were swept themselves at home by those aforementioned Marlins last week. So again, when I saw the matchup, didn't think I'd exactly be rushing to bet either side, but a couple things here have caught my eye, Andy. One is the Giants should not have opened as a $1.50 favorite on the money line. The market clearly agrees with my assessment there. We've seen the number come down. You just mentioned where it was currently at. And the second thing is Logan Webb. Look, he's very good, the starter for the Giants. And he's the reason that San Francisco opened as the favorite here. But throughout his career, pretty stark home versus road splits for Mr. Webb. 2.62 ERA at home versus 4.04 on the road. This season, he has allowed twice as many home runs per 9 innings on the road as he has at home. Of course, San Francisco is one of those great run suppression ballparks. Arizona, okay, you look at their lineup while they were struggling and they didn't win over the weekend against Miami. They're still number 3 overall in runs per game scored and number 2 in runs per game scored at home, obviously, this game in Arizona. So the bottom line for me, Andy, even with Webb on the mound here, I just don't think the Giants are a demonstrably better team than the D-backs. Give me the plus money here with Arizona. I think they get it done. I would, even with Webb on the mound, I think the value is with the home team in this one.
Love it. Oh. All right. This is the game of the day, Bryan. I don't know if you're aware that we do this. Okay, this is new on the show. All right. Leave in the comment section, everyone. Pick the winner of this game and the exact score. And if you get it right, you get free Wager Talk swag. We started this last week, Bryan. We don't tell the handicapper what game we're picking, but it's always a game we're talking about. So I'm putting you on the spot. Give us the winner, which I think you know what the winner is. Give us the exact score. If you get it right, we'll pick someone in the comments section to get swag. But everyone out there, after the show's over, put in the comments section who's going to win and what's the exact score. What do you say, Bryan Power?
Arizona 5-3.
Arizona 5-3. Here we go. Cam says, "Watch out! I'm coming for that beanie." I don't think we have beanies, but if you want one, yes. I'm sure we can have a nice beanie. Cam, if you get the right score today, I will personally get a Wager Talk beanie for you. How's that? So, all right, Brian, you're locked in. Arizona, the underdog, 5-3. Love it. Tell her what you have up at Wager Talk. Got any free plays, any videos, anything you want to promote? Floor is yours.
Yeah, let's talk about the video side. So just this morning, new episode of The Morning Wager dropped, and we were lucky enough to be joined by the great Ariel Epstein. She was kind enough to share her time. So a few more free plays than normal on a Monday from The Morning Wager. That episode is again out. Go ahead and check that out on the YouTube channel. No Power 5 today because I was here as well. One man can only watch The Morning. I think you can empathize with that. But the Power 5 will be back tomorrow. The Power 5 had a good week. We were 4-1 on Saturday. The only loss was actually Chelsea failing to get the job done in regulation because there was that stupid long weather delay. And of course, then it goes into added time, and they couldn't stop putting the ball in the net. So I digress. Still, you'll take 4-1 any day. And then you want to talk about what I have up at wt.buzz/BP. Guys, it's been a great first 6 months of 2025. We're number 3 in net profit for the year at the site, up, as I said, 61 units since May 24th. Well, if you want to get on board the next 6 months, you can do so right there. Rest of the year power package, one price, all plays. This is going to cover, Andy, all sports for me the rest of the year. Obviously, football's right around the corner. We're getting very excited about that. Mark Zeno and I will start breaking down NFL on the Morning Wagers very soon, I think next week. College football, very excited about that. We had a great year last year, great year in college basketball. Of course, we ended the NBA on that 12-1 run that we were very proud of. And it's baseball all summer and a little bit of soccer too. So WT.buzz/BP, one great low price gets you every play for the rest of 2025.
Nice job, Brian. Congratulations on the good first half of the year, man.
Hold on. I have to jump in here. I see in the comment section, was this guy on Baywatch? Not with this dad bod, buddy. Maybe, I guess 10 years ago. I guess Baywatch is an old show, but I don't know.
Well, maybe lifeguard at the local pool version of Baywatch, but definitely.
Well, I kind of am in a way as I yell to my daughter, "Please, you're not drowning, right?" As I am breaking down the baseball score lines for tomorrow. I just evidently look up every once in a while. "You're okay. You're in the deep end. Somebody's looking at her." Okay, there you go.
Swim harder.
Yes, swim harder.
Swim harder. Try harder.
Hey, we got third place in the backstroke. We're doing okay in that department. It's better. I wouldn't have better. I would have lost if I would have guessed over under what place she would have got out of that backstroke relay. So glad my daughter could make me look foolish there.
Oh, that's great. Bryan Power, everyone. Right. The not Baywatch version of the suburban Baywatch out at the pool kicking back. So, all right, Bryan Power, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. Okay, guys. You have to comment after the show is over in the comment section with the score. Tell us who you think is going to win, what the correct score is. If you get it right, you get Wager Talk swag. If Brian got it right, then we'll pick someone out of the comment section and we'll send them some swag. So I want to remind you guys, last day of the 7 days of all access or flex picks for only $69. It's less than $10 a day for full coverage and includes all sports. Stick with your favorite golf expert, me, or stick with any other expert that you bond with, that you like. And the best part is you can pick a different handicapper every day. You can ride with one handicapper all week. You can try a few out. Really good way to try out different handicappers, see if you like the write-up, see if you like the sports they're involved with. So 7 days for only $69. Take advantage of these summer specials, guys. We run them all summer long. They're really, really discounted, and there are some really, really good spots to take advantage of. So go ahead and hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're up over 207,000 subscribers. So join the Wager Talk family if you have not. Get notified when all your favorite shows start. We're going to get after it again tomorrow. So good luck on your plays and take care.